This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Beach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good morning, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio, episode number 243. Let us know if the sound is okay. And before we get to our guests, our first fabulous guests, I want to make sure that we tell you all about our sponsors, the businesses that were with us from the beginning, and we hope they're rebuilding. And then the new businesses that we have with us, including the Royal Scoop Ice Cream, which is the official ice cream of Beach Talk Radio, Sun Palace Vacations, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangaritas, La Ola Restaurant, Coastal Vacation Properties, Tuckaway Cafe, Shuckers, the Farmers Market at the Beach Baptist, Island Carts FMB, and Beach Time Out. Our sponsors that are up and operating or open for business include Beach Pottery, Fort Myers Beach Realty, State Insurance USA, and our new sponsors, the Allen Development Group, real estate agent Jorge Barrera, and michaelshomesinc.com. Thank you all for your sponsorship, and thank you all for tuning in this morning. Hopefully we sound okay. We are at the base of the bridge, and joining me this morning is my lovely sidekick and Mary Torgerson and Megan Allers from the Women's Club. How are you?
I think that's the question we all ask each other. How are you today? And the answer is the same for all of us. We're all just kind of like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's
so,
my motto. It's
that
a lot.
is a lot.
First things first, $20,000.
Wow, that's a good way to start the morning,
right?
right?
To start the show off with a little donation to the 33931 fund, and that brings our total to the fund to $155,000.
Correct.
That you guys have donated. So thank you all.
You know, I'm just overwhelmed by the amount, like near and far, that has just poured in to our community in such a short period of time, whether it's physical donations that have shown up at Buttonwood. I mean, as you guys know, stuff is showing up on your doorstep all the time and you're bringing it down. Stuff is funneling through Mary's address.
And your listeners have just stood up and really made things happen.
They've been super fabulous.
I think you really, I don't think we could have ever imagined the reach that the beach has to people. And it's deep in their heart, whether they've been here once or whether they come every year for the last 20 years.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And we had a really... a really wonderful moment this week at the Buttonwood location. One of our volunteers who is there almost every day, Kathy, she's amazing. Mm-hmm. She had a friend reach out who wanted to remain anonymous, donated $25,000.
Wow.
That's right, $25,000 specifically for generators and power washers because she found out the list was so big. He or she, I should say.
Right.
But so that money has been, Dan got on the phone, found somebody through Adam Botana at Home Depot, and they are going to be delivering those generators and power washers this week so we can get them out to people. It's happening that fast.
That is great.
And that's the power of what we're talking about and the reach that the beach has and how people want to really be helping. And I will go ahead and say that anonymous donor's request of me was to sit here on this show and not only tell their story, but challenge other people out there to start doing the same and get the big supplies that we need down here so that people can start rebuilding. So that's my challenge to you all out there in Beach Talk Radio USA.
The number one radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach, Megan.
That's
Come on,
right.
don't
That's
undercut
right.
us.
Radio USA.
And if you need guidance, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Tim Ryan. You can reach out to Mary. And FMB Strong and Fort Myers Beach Women's Club are working hand in hand to make sure that people are getting all of these things that they need. And we're doing it.
You know, and the thing is, too, like this sounded like it was one person that made that huge donation. Maybe not everybody can do that, but you can do a group thing. There's so many unique ideas that we've heard people do to raise funds. And then you can do one lump sum, and you can do it anonymous, or you can put your name to it, let people know, because we always want to thank people. But I mean, whatever floats your boat. But there's plenty of opportunities and plenty of different ways to get that money down here and get these people up and building as soon as possible.
And I think, Mary can speak more about the 33931 fund, because she's really been, her and Dawn Thomas have been a driving force with this. And I think she can speak to the numbers of what we've passed out to residents.
As your listeners know, that you now have donated $155,000 to what we call the 33931 Resident Fund. It goes out to residents of 33931, which is from the beach all the way up to Summerlin on Estero Boulevard. And you have to have proof of residency. Your driver's license has to be at the time of Ian. It's $500 per household while funds are available. But we have distributed $300,000 in funds to residents. Looking at doing another $100,000. That's 200 families next week. And that's teamwork. That's the people that listen to you. That's people that have approached us independently. King Family Foundation has been a huge support of that. It's pretty amazing. There is right now applications open online. You can go to our website, fmb-wc.org. If you are a resident, if you're not a resident, it's just going to get into a not resident file. But we're looking, I think we have room for about 200 more applications that we hope to fund in the next 2 weeks. So that'll be $500,000 total that'll have gone out.
Wow.
Have you now, when you give out the funds, is it electronic? Are people picking them up? Have you had contact with any people to see how it's going for folks?
It's an e-MasterCard.
Okay.
It comes to your email, and it gives you all the directions about how to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
It is electronic funds, so you have to use it electronically as well, but it can help you order. You can order online your generator from Home Depot or whatever your case may be. It does. The byline is, I think, and I should have written it down, I'm sorry, but electronic funds, and then it says activate, and it's hyphened with We Are FMB. So check if you applied a month ago and you haven't heard anything, be sure to check your spam or your trash, and with the in the subject line, We Are FMB, because they've gone out to 600 households.
Let me give everybody a quick update. I did say we were going to be at the Beach Baptist this morning, but what happened was, when I went down to the Beach Baptist, it was overtaken by the federal government. FEMA overtook the Community Resource Center. The town is not set up there anymore. Pastor Sean, we talked last night. He's not in town, so I went over there to see if there was a place that we could set up, and it didn't work out. So I just let everybody know at the last minute that we're at the base of the bridge. I don't know if you can see that. I know some of you were asking where we are. We're in front of the ice cream. What was the name of this ice cream place? What was the name of it? Cold Stone Creamery. We're right in front of their location. I apologize for not asking them. They're about ready to get to work here, but we were supposed to be down there. FEMA's taking over, so I didn't want to get in their hair down there, so we just came down here. So, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is that the biggest need right now is generators and power tools. So if you want to donate, you can donate the money for people to go out and buy a generator, or you can send a generator down. We don't have any problem. We're discontinuing at least we are not taking the Amazon donations at our house. If somebody else wants to do that, that's fine.
I think we have a solution for you on that, Ed, and I'm going to talk to you after that so we can keep that list going.
Okay.
Power tools is a huge one. Think about it. Think about your garage, right? Everything washed out of your garage. My own husband, he ran his business by power tools, and what was in his truck was also ruined because his truck was ruined. So, people are starting from scratch. They don't have a drill. They don't have a handsaw. They don't have, all of that stuff that they would just walk out and grab off the shelf.
And it's battery operated too, is the most helpful.
The battery packs are a big thing,
yeah,
right?
They are.
You can give somebody a DeWalt drill, but it's only going to last so far without a charger or extra batteries.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that are going to keep people moving forward and using, starting to rebuild. They need all of that stuff.
Yeah, shop vacs. I noticed that was one of the things mentioned. Shop vacs, power tools, and generators. Generators are a big thing. We brought down 8 today. I think around 8, but we also realized that the waiting list was 70 people.
Right.
So that's
Exactly.
70?
Yes.
70.
Wow.
So
Yes. And
that's
so
the biggest need.
That $25,000 donation is going to cover, I think it's close to 40 generators
Wow.
It was
and
36
That's
generators and
Wow.
17
power
Power
washers.
Oh, I see. You're going to buy more things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. If you want to help, they don't need food. No more canned food. That stuff that's down there now, some of it's probably going to go to the Harry Chapin Food Bank because really it didn't look like there was much damage
People are
there.
still coming in and they are taking what they need food wise.
But here's the thing, Megan. People don't want a can of green beans. They want to go to a restaurant and have a nice dinner. Buy
Talk
them
to
a gift
Steve
card.
Dwello. Steve Dwello loves a can of
He'll eat it.
asparagus.
That dude will
every
eat
day.
That dude will eat anything. I saw him dipping into those Aunt Mama's
Yes.
baked beans or whatever the hell they're called.
And I do have a little side story here because you caused quite a stir this week.
Me?
And I don't even think you realized it.
I don't know how I would ever do that.
You posted
It's
a
not in my
picture
blood.
about more supplies coming down to Buttonwood from your garage.
Yeah.
And one of those boxes in the picture was a box of a mini refrigerator.
Yeah.
It had other supplies in it, not an actual refrigerator.
No shit.
We have had people all week coming in for the mini refrigerator.
Sorry.
Wait, there's a mini refrigerator in our garage. There's still one in our garage. We can't fit it into the vehicles with all the other
People
stuff.
think we have piles of them.
Of mini fridges? Is that a need too? Mini fridges?
Mini fridges, apparently.
Well, they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
They're less expensive than a generator, right?
So we'll put it on the list.
Nice.
But you did cause quite a stir.
Wait, where was a mini fridge box? I don't remember bringing that down, but
It was packed with supplies.
I'm sure it fits a lot of shit, though. We do have it. Now I need to go back to the garage and see what's in that box. Maybe it's not a mini fridge.
That box seems like it's got those plastic. I think that's what that is.
I see.
But I don't know.
It's probably a mini fridge then.
It's
All
not
right.
that mini. It's kind of like.
All right. I thought it was going to be worse than that.
So to keep things on track, because we don't want to keep you guys all day, but Mary is going to announce some kind of exciting stuff.
Wait,
that
more
we
excitement.
We've been
You're
working
like
on.
so quiet here today.
I am.
Yeah.
That's so unusual
It
for
is
you.
kind of odd.
Why are you so quiet? What's wrong? Are you feeling okay? Do I need to feel your head and see how you're doing? Why are you wearing sunglasses that you can't see your eyes?
So, for a lot of your listening viewers, they probably are not really familiar with the Women's Club and what we have done in the past for fundraising. But one of the things that we've had an annual event. This would have been our 5th annual, the Christmas Tree Festival.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like a lot of things on the beach, the Women's Club is wiped out, and we didn't really foresee a future for the Christmas Tree Festival this year. And part of that is we have our holiday raffle, which this year's grand prize is an opening night stay to Margaritaville when it opens. But we just came into some information this week. I think we're going to have an amended or abbreviated Christmas Tree Festival on Saturday, December 10th. We'll have more information coming, but if you're around, mark your calendars. There'll be some tree auctions. Uh-oh.
No, nothing.
Why are you yelling
Go
at
ahead.
me?
No.
You don't want me to ask a question or something?
No.
Or is that
Go
some
ahead,
kind
ask
of?
a question.
Where is it going to be?
Tentatively at the Man Caves.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And what
Very
time
nice.
is that going to be?
The times are not specific right now, but we're looking at an afternoon thing. You know, we've done a 2-day thing previously. Not likely having a chili cook-off. It's just kind of difficult, but I know
No, we're not.
Oh boy! Now see, we're thinking
Here
this
we
is
go.
just
It's growing.
It's growing.
It's
It's growing.
Do you know? Do
You
you
better
know?
have the wine tree. That's all I have to say. Folks loved that.
Do you know
wine
Patty
tree.
Coleman?
I know her by phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's saying hello to you.
Hi,
Just
Patty.
want to pass that along. All right. So, what was the date again?
December.
Saturday, December 10th.
All right, because I know we got that concert on the 19th.
Saturday, November 19th.
November 19th that you're not going to be to, that I'm
Right.
going to have to MC on my own. I don't know if I can do
No,
that
you
by myself.
can handle it.
On
You did
stage
it
by
last year by
myself?
yourself. You got
I
it.
did?
You went last year by yourself. I don't
Oh.
know what you did
Yeah.
there.
I didn't get on stage, so maybe maybe I need a little practice of being on the microphone
Maybe
in front of people. I get a little stage fright, Megan.
Yes. Yeah,
you look
that's-
frightened.
that's
You look
Yeah.
intimidated already.
So when can we push out more information on that? Are the trees have any been donated yet? Like we need to get that rolling.
So it is going to be a different concept. In the past, it's been through our nonprofits, and they put in their own tree, and the proceeds go back to them. This year's situation is totally different. We're looking at a 1-up. We've had an offer of some miniature trees. We're still trying to finish the concept and how it'll work, but I think there'll be some live silent auction and some online silent auction. And the concept, the initial concept, and this is still a teaser, so the initial concept is that
Hang on, let that truck pass.
No, we're good. Sound is good.
All right.
if you purchase one of the trees, one of the families here on the beach affected by one will have a matching tree. So
Nice.
So you buy one for yourself, and one will be donated to a family here on the beach.
That's
Nice.
great.
So
Everybody's beeping at us here. Do you think they know who we are? Oh, there goes Anita. I just saw Anita go by. She didn't beep.
Nah.
No.
She
So,
looked very engrossed in what she was
yeah.
doing.
so we
gotta pay
we'll
attention
get
while
more
you're driving.
information out there.
hopefully in the
Right.
next 7 days we'll have it pretty well
Super.
firmed up.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Did we miss anything? Because we know. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
How many followers are we up to now, Ed? I mean,
We were a few short of 58,000 this morning, but I'm not counting.
58.
I thought-
58.
I thought
Did
you
you
were
go
at
down?
I'm sorry. Is it? No, I didn't. No, it's 58.
Wasn't it like 67,000?
That's what I thought.
Are you losing?
Maybe I'm losing my
Is your
mind.
charming personality
They're
working
turning you
again?
off.
I've lost
They're
10,000
unfollowing you.
since last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's bad
you know,
news.
when the storm ends, people start to unfollow you. That's all.
Yeah.
The storm is not
Oh,
over.
now I have to look it up. I don't know
No,
what the hell's going
no.
on here.
Okay,
So
well,
thank
we'll
you, guys.
bounce out. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, we look
We'll see
forward
you
to
soon,
more
and-
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely ladies from the Women's Club, Megan Allers and Mary Torgerson, and we always love having them on the show. We usually have them on the show when there are events going on so we can promote the events. So we appreciate them coming on. I need to tell you while we segue into Eddie Rood, who's out there chatting with John King. Eddie wants to come on. I need to tell you about a little dumbassery that I just experienced myself. Here we are in Times Square. Like, Times Square is filled with debris, and the town has just set up this community resource center, which basically means you can go to the bathroom, take a shower. There's a couple of tents set up or whatever. And so I went over there before the show. There's nobody. Have a seat, Ed. Come on, have a seat. I went over there before the show started, and I tried to use the restroom because they have this giant trailer with restrooms. Nobody's in Times Square, right? Nobody. I said to the lady, I said, I'm just going to use the restroom. I'm only going to go number one. She goes, no, you can't use the restroom. Can't use the restroom. You're not a resident. I looked at her like, are you kidding me? There's nobody here. I can't go. I can't pee in the restroom right here. You're gonna be like that I can't go to the bathroom. I said, you realize that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life, that you're not going to let me go to the restroom. There's nobody here. Nobody. So I went over to the Margaritaville and I used the Porta-John. I'm more of a Porta-John guy. I don't need a trailer to go to the bathroom, Eddie. What about you? You could pee anywhere, right?
No, not just anywhere.
I see.
No, yeah.
So Eddie Rood, ladies and gentlemen, wanted to come on the show. He said he only needed 5 minutes, but you know how that is if you've seen Eddie on the show before. 5 minutes is an hour.
Not this morning, Ed. Not this morning.
All right. How are you, by the way?
I'm doing good.
How did your house make out during the storm?
I'm one of the more fortunate ones. I was explaining to you earlier that I never understood survivor's remorse, but now I have a little bit of a feel for it. I drive by places where people have lost their whole lives.
Yeah.
They have nothing left at all. And then I pull up in front of my house and I'm like, if my garage doors were still there, you really wouldn't know that I had any damage at all.
Because your house was built recently.
Yeah, well, it was built in 2011, I think, or 2012. Yeah, modern construction.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I what, it's just like everyone else. I mean, I feel horrible for a lot of people, and
you drive up and down. The thing that is odd is like you drive up and down Estero Boulevard now, and it's like a war zone. But the minute that you go like on the other side of the bridge and you're past all those boats halfway down, it's like nothing ever happened.
Right.
The rest of Southwest Florida, other than a few trees down here and some signs down, that looks like the average day where something falls down, everything is fine.
I went even the other way, Ed. I went to Fort Myers earlier in the week, and once you get past San Carlos, where the marina is, and you kind of get started onto McGregor, you can barely tell anything happened now. They've got it all cleaned up. Everything's all put back together, and people are out mowing their yards.
I see Lee County keeps putting out, and I love Lee County, don't get me wrong. They keep putting out these numbers of debris, all these gigantic cubic yards of debris that they've moved, and I'm like, okay, it must be just moving from Fort Myers Beach and Pine Island and Sanibel, because everything else is clean.
Yeah,
everything else looks clean to me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But anyway, why did you decide or request an appearance on the #1 radio show in all of Fort Myers Beach?
Well, I've collected a few checks from my neighbors in the neighborhood, and I wanted to give the checks to the local charities here that are trying to help the people.
Sure.
And you already know, or I think you know, I support the Women's Foundation.
Yeah, Women's Club.
The Women's Club. Yeah, the Women's Club. And so I've got a check, a personal check for the Women's Club, and I've got.
I'm going to bring her back over then.
I've got some other checks that they're blank. And so I was.
Well, here's Mary from the Women's Club. Yeah. Mary, Ed says he's got a check for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Rood, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
Well, how much is your check for?
Well, we got a $500 check for the Women's Club, and it's not a lot of money. It's not,
every dollar counts, bro.
Every dollar counts.
You know, and Kurt, I've got a check from Kurt for $500, and I got a check from my other neighbor, Ken and Jennifer Drenth, and I got a check from Dennis Prock and Terry Monroe, and they're people that are neighbors. They're in our controversial neighborhood.
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get into any of that. But anyway, it's our way of trying to help a little bit, you know. So
what's the total you're bringing? Want me to add it up? I'm good with math.
I don't know. I didn't add it up. What is it?
200?
200.
500, that's 700, and 500, that's 12, and 500 is $1,700.
$1,700, making difference in people's lives.
I gave her 20,000 just for the record. So you're a little bit short today, but we appreciate every dollar, man.
We appreciate every dollar.
You can only do what you can
I don't
do.
have the #1 radio show in all Southwest Florida.
You got to set your sights a little higher, Eddie.
Yeah,
you got to set your goals higher.
The pavement up and down the neighborhood. But anyway, we're going to be making those out this morning. Mine's going to the, as you already know, I support the Women's Club.
Sure.
Here on the island.
Yeah.
But there are other
So which ones of these am I supposed to take?
Take them all. Just fill them all in.
Well, I think he's got other ideas in mind.
Well, I don't know. I was going to ask y'all.
It's all the same pot, to be honest with you. The Community Foundation, our thing, and the Women's Club, it's all the same pot.
Then I'll just make them all to the Women's Club.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing, because it's all going to the people on the beach.
Yeah,
100% of the money.
Yeah, my neighbors, I don't know that they have a specific charity that they support.
Yeah. It's all going to be in the right pot, unless you made one out to Kim's Hair Fund, because that's a lot of money.
They're not made out yet. We could take one of them and do that.
We do that with coffee donations. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Mary, for coming back. That was very nice of you, Ed. What'd you do? Walk up and down the sidewalk looking for friends to write checks to?
No, I called a few of my friends. Yeah, we've got quite a little. I don't know what you call it, because of our situation that we've been going through. We've got friends in Laguna Shores, and of course the people in my neighborhood, and we've gotten to know them through the ordeal that we've all been going through.
You going to be part of the show today? What's going on?
I don't know. What was his time limit? Did you
hear
that last night?
We were goofing on you last night.
Did you hear us goofing on you? I said, well, he goes, well, Eddie's just going to come on for 10 minutes. And I said, well, you know how he runs. I said, so for every minute over, it's $1,000.
There you go.
But I feel like you.
He gave $1,700, so that's pretty good.
There you go.
He's good to go. We got 6 minutes to go before John joins us. So, did you want to talk about politics at all? How you think Tuesday is going to roll?
Well, Ed, I don't have a lot to say other than I think that we have come to a place to where we are going to have a town council that represents the people and doesn't represent special interest. And they're going to put the people ahead of special interest. And that's what our neighborhood is looking forward to. And our friends in Laguna Shores, that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking for a council that represents the people and listens to the people's needs and isn't influenced by special interest. And that's the goal. And I think that we've been patiently waiting and biding our time. And I think that that's about to come about.
Right. So one final question for you. Does the dune walkover that you were looking for newcomers to the show, Eddie's been trying to get a dune walkover behind his house with Kurt, who is his next door neighbor who lost his house completely, around a critical wildlife area. It's a long story. It's on our news website if you ever wanted to look it up and see. Is it still like, did the water connect? I know if the water, like if the Gulf connected to the lagoon, all bets are off, right? Did it connect?
No, it did not.
It didn't connect.
No,
So everything
it's still non-tidal. And what's funny, Ed, the state has already been out and resurveyed the whole thing.
I see. So everything
that was quick.
So when things kind of settle down, things are still on. The game is still on.
Yeah. Well, this is a very, very unimportant issue with all the things that are going on now.
Sure.
But unfortunately, there are several legal battles.
Yeah.
And the court system continues. The court system doesn't stop for Hurricane Ian.
Oh, I see.
And so we have court dates that are scheduled, and we have litigation that is ongoing.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, and it's.
Well, how can the town participate in that? It's not. It's you and the state right now.
Well, and the town also.
Yeah.
And I mean,
because this town attorney's he's out as soon as this new council comes in, right? He's gone.
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know.
Please.
Yeah.
Regardless, someone.
Crap.
Yeah, they'll have. It doesn't matter.
Their representation. They will have representation.
They'll have an attorney. And hopefully.
Thank you.
Hopefully this time it won't be a biased attorney.
Right.
There again, we're hoping for.
Well, aren't all attorneys biased one way or the other? Like they're biased for their client. Like your attorney is biased, right?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he has a bias.
I want an attorney that's biased for me.
I think a better attorney is not biased. I think they're professional and they go in to represent what they think is in your best interest.
Yeah.
I think that's the way they
handle it.
Within the law.
Right. Applying the law.
Right. Within the law.
Judiciously.
Right. And
totally
and then there again, if in fact the town does end up with a different attorney, hopefully the attorney will not be swayed by these people in special interest.
There, what is Marcia talking about? She says, Ed, take a drive all over, not just to the beach. I don't know what. Oh,
What's
she
that?
must be talking. Well, maybe I said something about it just looks like the beach is the only place where I see debris. I don't see debris in Southwest Florida. I see effing traffic. That's what I see.
Well,
do you see debris in other places?
Yeah.
Where?
On my way to work.
Okay, where?
There's still trees and stuff that they're
okay, but not like this.
No, not like this.
That's what I'm saying. The Lee County kept pushing out like all these millions and millions of cubic
but
shit
we're not
that they're
all
moving.
over the county either.
I know, but so here in Sanibel, Pine Island, maybe Cape. Okay, all right, I'll give you that. Cape. I don't go to the Cape.
Isn't Sanibel about like this also?
Yeah, Sanibel's a wreck, but I'm just saying, I do drive around some places like
you don't get out very
in
much.
Fort Myers, I don't see debris. Do you see debris like this debris in Fort Myers? So
no,
I don't mean to offend
anybody.
anybody. I'm just saying. No. I don't see it that much. But anyway,
I've seen pictures of Pine Island. I've seen pictures of
I don't even know where Pine Island is. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to get there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why would you, when you come to Fort Myers Beach, why would you go to Pine Island?
Well,
it's just a different thing.
I don't like different
and
things.
fishing.
I'm a man of routine.
Matt Lachey is super cute.
I like routine.
I've been out there. It's really cute.
Yeah, it's different. It's
different.
It's a place all of its own.
What's with the pink shirt, man?
What's the what?
What's with the pink shirt? Why always with the pink?
Pink or salmon. Sometimes he's got a salmon colored shirt.
Yeah, you got the pink thing going on though. You like pink.
He just likes to wear color.
You're a Pink Panther fan? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean,
what? Spit it out. You've never been at a loss for words. I asked you about your shirt.
No, I think the color looks good on me.
Oh, really?
There you go.
I see.
Yeah.
You think pink would look good on me?
So,
no.
Ed,
I'm never wearing pink, by the way. Never.
I don't know that. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know if you have the right personality to wear pink.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
You look a little more like a yellow guy.
Oh, that's not
really
bright yellow.
Yeah.
So
the shirt. Yeah, these shirts look good on you.
Do you have a wristband, like a red wristband?
A red wristband? No.
Because you can't go to the bathroom unless you have a red wristband. I
Oh,
want you to
really?
go over there and try and use the John over there. Ridiculous. You can't even pee in this place.
So what is the deal with the red wristband?
You have to have a red wristband in order to use the bathroom. That's the way it works.
You're a resident.
Oh,
that's the way it works.
Awesome. I got you.
All right, Ed. Well, thank you for coming and dropping all that money on us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on for a few minutes. It's always
15
enjoyable.
minutes, not a few minutes.
Yeah,
all right.
it's always enjoyable.
Don't
It's
try to
always
make
fun.
it sound like it was quick.
Anyway, and so you're going to be covering the election Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to be covering from our house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to. I can't go out at 7 o'clock at night. That's way past my bedtime.
Well, they know the results of the election Tuesday night.
Right, quick. They
do.
The polls close at 7, and then they. I mean, it doesn't take long to count 4,000 votes or whatever. I don't even think it's going to be 4,000.
Right.
What's your prediction? Lay it on us.
What is what?
What's your prediction? Who's going to win?
You know, Ed. I
question.
really don't know.
Pick two people.
Yeah,
There's
really
4 people. Pick
I
two.
really don't know.
Make a prediction. We won't hold you to it.
Before the hurricane, I would have said Karen and Ray. Now the hurricane, I have no clue. I really don't have a clue.
Because the hurricane might have impacted the way people voted.
I can tell you that it has, because I've had people call me and tell me that it has impacted their opinion. And some of them positively, some of them negatively.
Positively?
And
let it go.
Everyone has an opinion.
My show. That's right. And my opinion ain't worth shit. I know
everybody's
that.
got an opinion. Yeah. And I stay in close contact with a lot of people in Laguna Shores. Yeah. And obviously on the beach side of the Estero Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I knew who all of them were promoting and who they were voting for prior to the hurricane. And I can tell you that after the hurricane, things changed.
All right.
And they wanted signs moved, and they didn't want this sign, but they wanted that sign, and they didn't want that sign. They wanted that sign, and I can't dictate the politics. They all have their own minds.
All I asked you was for your opinion.
You're going to run up this bill there,
not an
Mr.
essay.
At 1,000
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Rood, super nice guy.
Much.
Thank you, Eddie, for coming on. We love
Good
Eddie. He's a good friend of the show. Thanks. He's always been great to us, and we
he's
appreciate
good. He takes a lot of crap.
Yeah, he does take a lot of crap.
I give him a hard time. I mean, he deserves it sometimes, but All right, you're ready for John
King. Ladies, speaking of the election, everybody. Eddie went over 2 minutes. He owes us $2,000. So
poor John's been waiting this whole time.
I know, John. Is that there? We go. No references to how tall you are today or anything like that.
No references to what?
You should have wore a hat or something on your head so you don't get sunburned.
Oh, too shiny.
The sun is crazy right
here.
He
just sits down and the barbs start.
Yeah,
yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Yeah, nothing about your height. Now he's going to move on.
So, how are things? How is the campaign going?
It took a little sideways turn after Ian, but I think we've got back on course in the last couple of weeks. So on the way in this morning, I'm sitting there thinking, it's almost been 7 months since you had me on the first one over on the other side when I announced back in April at Pete's Time Out. And it's just been quite a different world since that time. And I wanted to thank you both for all that you've done, just not only for the fundraising you've done, how you amped it up everything since post Ian, but also kept the voters in mind too, and all the forums you did. So I'll just say bless you both and roll on, Yellow Army.
Yeah,
thank you.
We can't wait to see all those yellow shirts cleaning the beach. That's really going to be a super cool
and
thing
I was talking about another idea.
Is that on the QT that we're going to talk about later when we're having drinks at home? Well, we really do.
No, I was talking to somebody else about it. So,
we really do our most entertaining shows when the camera's not on later at night. But
wasn't that the way it was in radio too?
Always.
The hallway shows were always the best off mic.
If people could just hear what people really talk about instead of the show business BS.
Yeah.
That's what this show is. There's no BS, dear.
Yeah,
I need you to be yourself a little bit more. But anyway, enough about us,
Nobody
John.
wants that.
What was the story with the signs being picked up off the right of way? I mean, I see the right of way. I drove the right of way all the way down to Beach Baptist today, and there's a lot of debris in the right of way.
Yeah, there are. And there's some signs still. But yesterday when I was at Islands End doing some work there, I noticed the Beach Patrol did come up and take one of the signs from the contractors that have been putting them up too. So at least they're consistent. They took mine. They took Patrick's. They took Karen's. They took Ray's. Some.
I think that they should take the contractor signs up, because I don't think that people should be allowed to advertise. But it's an election. I mean, that's different. I don't think you should
more
be
of a
able
public
to.
service.
Yeah, you should be able to put your election signs up. It's only 30 days that you're allowed to do it, and this is a wicked important election. And so I can understand, the signs where people are trying to get you to take, they're trying to take your money. Well, some politicians trying to take your money, but not on Fort Myers Beach. Fort Myers Beach is different. They should have allowed them to put the signs up. But anyway, so. Give us your overview of how the Fort Myers Beach government performed the last 30 days.
Complete and utter failure. Ridiculous. Just as I said at the first meeting they had afterwards, that it just became so obvious and apparent that there was no plan. And I don't know how you live in this environment with a town manager that has been to all these different towns in this state, and it was a complete lack of failure, complete failure and a lack of leadership. I mean, there was a gap. You two both filled in very nicely. So did Dan Allers. Dan Allers stepped in and stepped up. And Jim Matterholt did a lot more behind the scenes as well. So at least going forward, there's some good hope for the town council of Fort Myers Beach.
Do you think that would be, one of the big things if elected, that there'd be a plan, a better plan in place for how to deal with emergencies and how to deal with getting communications out in general?
Most definitely. It's interesting. I talked about almost 7 months since you guys had me on. The first 3 things I think I mentioned were why I was running was for communication, for leadership, and for common sense. And it's amazing that this is now more important than it was back then. And I thought it was urgent back then. But you're right. Not only, and Karen has talked a lot about this, a 5-year plan going forward, but in conjunction with that, then let's have a plan for the next emergency that's going to happen, because it's going to happen.
Right.
So what do you want to see? Let's say you get elected. What changes do you want to see at Town Hall, wherever the Town Hall is?
Wherever the Town Hall is. Well, I'd like to see it stay close. I'd like to look at all the options.
I don't mean the physical building.
Well,
I want
to talk about it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And now we're done.
There you go.
No, just some common sense, cost-effective areas to make it happen. But I think what I've talked about all along, leadership, pulling together instead of apart. I think we've seen this council, because of a lack of leadership, go off in so many different ways. Some of them good, with Jim and Dan making contacts with the county people to smooth that relationship out. And so I'm all about big communication, and that's what I did when I ran for the Condo Association Board at Islands End. There was no information sharing. I got on there, every information I got, I start sharing it or posting it with the owners. It's just so important to let everybody know what's going on.
So we talked this morning with a resident who was very passionate, spoke passionately about the difficulties with the permitting process. What would you do if elected to smooth that over, or speed it up, whatever needs to be done so that people can get their houses and businesses built?
I think that's one of the key areas where we could work with Lee County and their permitting process. I see a lot of people commenting on how Lee County is so much more efficient. They're a bigger operation, obviously, but maybe they can lend us some people with the expertise. And if I have to sit down and learn how to do this, or answer calls or answer emails, I'm doing that, because that's what people need. Get this done quickly, whatever it takes.
When you go to a town council meeting, Roger says that only 3 emails weren't answered, and then you look at people that post on our page, and it's almost like all of our people on our page are full of shit, because they keep saying that that's not true, that they can't get through to the permitting. I mean, what is the truth? What is going on? Who knows what the truth is?
I'm always going to go with the people. The people know, and it's not going to just be one person, as you've seen. And when you've looked at your comments on your Facebook page, it's a continual process of failure on the permitting process. So I think the town might be just trying to CYA.
Yeah.
But
the other thing.
I mean,
go
the
ahead.
thing is, in that regard, a storm of this magnitude, huge. So if you don't have the people, I mean, no one could predict to have the people in place.
Right.
But now that you're here at this point, you need to get the people in place. Yes? No?
Yes,
I mean,
most definitely. And that's why I think partnering with Lee County would be a big, they know the area. Supposedly we brought in people from New York, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because they don't know the area. Maybe they're familiar with processes. That might help. I don't know. But definitely Lee County. And I've always said this, if we've got employees that can not busy in one area, let's cross-train them. They can slide over and help where they're needed. If I become a council person, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to learn how to do this and help out. I'm not going to take anybody's job away.
Right.
But I want to help get people back to where they want to be.
Why wouldn't it be a good idea for Fort Myers Beach to be turned back over to Lee County? And I know the former mayor, Tracy Gore, is really pushing that hard. She sends emails out all the time to the town council, and she copies everybody she thinks she knows. And she's really been pushing that. But there also have been other people who think that maybe that's a good idea. And you mentioned it a few times that Lee County's got their act together. So why not?
Well, I think local control is always best. You see that whether it's schools or towns. The closer you are to the people, the better you should be able to serve them. That has not happened in the last few years here. So after Tuesday, you're going to have some new blood on this council and a way to move forward. So I just say, let's give us a chance. We have an opportunity and hold us accountable for what we've said we're going to do. If we don't do it, if I don't do it, I'll never run again, and I'll be the first to admit I failed.
Yeah. What are your chances to win, in your opinion?
I don't know. I checked this morning, and there's probably well over 2,000 votes just from the two precincts on Fort Myers Beach. I think that's a pretty good turnout so far, and you still got time.
2,000 of 4,000, approximately
4588 or something like that.
So 4588, 2,000 votes in. So a lot of people, if they're going to vote, are still going to vote on Election Day.
Yeah.
Or I think they have until, I don't know.
7 o'clock that night on Election Day.
Okay. And you can early vote through Election Day, right? I always vote on Election Day, so I don't really pay attention to the early voting.
It doesn't do you any good to vote the day after Election Day.
The 9th, it's not going to count.
That's not what I meant, but you're a funny guy sometimes too. So
my wife thinks I am too. She laughs at me a lot for some reason. I don't know why.
So the early voting, you also analyzed how many votes there were before the hurricane. Not a lot.
For the entire county, there were only 15, maybe 16 votes that came in by mail before even.
Okay, so most of the Fort Myers Beach votes will be after the hurricane. Yep. So I guess we'll find out if the people on the beach think that the government did a good job or not. I mean, they'll really be judged by the last 30 days, not the last 4 years.
It's hard to compare it to the previous elections because those being in March, turnout was low. You're now on a November general ballot. Even though it's midterm, it's still a very high turnout, I think. I think I'd talked to you previously. It would have been like 36% was considered good.
I know.
And now yesterday when I posted it on my Facebook page, it was up to at least 45% of the total voters.
How many followers you have?
Not as I got 6, 7 maybe.
Yeah.
So I say I have 67.
Yeah.
No, I've got, I don't know.
How
it's
many?
Over 100. It's not in your neighborhood. It's not
followers.
Even listen to this man. Thanks for inviting me on because I could have got this abuse at home.
I know it's not going to last. So that's why I have to get the jabs in. We'll see. No.
Well, I think this year too, is going to be, I mean, with everything that's going on, it's hard to predict voter turnout. And then is that, what caused that? Because
I think voter turnout on the beach is going to be high because of the storm. And they want to either make a point that they were happy with the way the leadership conducted themselves after the storm or they didn't. I think that when you say 36% of people who are registered to vote, it's very disappointing to hear that in any election because it really, in my mind, it should be 100%. Wow. I mean, you really should vote no matter what the hell you think.
It's your civic duty. That's always been a passion of mine. As soon as I turned 18, I registered and went out and voted. Now I lost the candidates I voted for in the first election got beat, so that was kind of disheartening, but I stayed with the process. I love this country. I love its process. I love how everything works and you get to be a part of it and make decisions. I've been saying for quite a while now, this election, you can vote for the government you've got or the government you want. Well,
no matter what, things are going to change on the 21st. And I'm not going to say anything more about the whole mayor thing, but things are going to change. And the communication is going to get better. And the relationship with the county is going to improve it's going to be a 180-degree difference than what we have now. The county's not going to be blamed for everything that goes wrong, and there's already a great, base of a relationship with the county. When the right people are put in the positions where they can continue that, I think great things are going to happen. And, walking around the beach, you can see that there are still certain areas where the debris is piled high, but you can also see every week that things are getting better. And it's going to be, I always thought it was going to be a decade rebuild. That could be crazy, but it just seems like there's so much damage down here that it's going to take a long time.
It's been interesting. Chris still works, so she works from home and then comes down with me on the weekends, and she can just document the progress, and monitor it and see how it's already happened. More areas that need to be touched, but at least we're seeing some progress.
So let me ask you a point blank question, because you came into the whole political process an angry bastard. Wouldn't you agree? You were angry about the windows.
I wasn't angry. No, I was confused.
Okay.
I didn't understand it.
Well, you came across mad and angry, wouldn't you say?
And my wife says, "You've never seen me mad. I'm almost like a Hulk if I've ever been mad."
I see.
I'm a loud person because I've got a broadcasting background.
People can
I try to project, at least, and my wife did theater, and it was always project to the last seat in the house. And then when we started going to these town council meetings, the sound system wasn't the best. The microphone is always down here for me, so I have to be loud.
All right.
But I'm a passionate person.
But you were a little bit mad about the windows.
No, I wasn't mad. I just didn't understand it.
Okay. Yeah. What? I'm just
trying to get
mad
at you right now.
I know you are.
Pestering
and
the
I'm about to get crushed by Andre the Giant.
I think
did you see that? After I met with Sheriff Marcino, Steve Dwello posted a picture of somebody that almost looked like Sheriff Marcino and Andre the Giant, and I just had to chuckle.
Who was it? Who was the other wrestler?
It wasn't a wrestler. It was some
like a
sheriff,
dwarf,
in a sheriff's or something costume. But
I don't pay attention to what Steve does.
You should.
I'm kidding.
He's a very intelligent and stand-up guy.
Yeah. So
before the storm, there was all the other issues that we talked about, like beach renourishment, the dune walkover, all of those things. And now,
so irrelevant.
It's all just going to be Ian. But and it's going to take a long time. But those things are going to come back at some point.
And I did a interview with Nathan from the Beach Observer, and he asked,
is that a newspaper?
I think it's available online.
I see. I
It
never
used
heard
to
of
be
it.
in print, but I'm not sure when that'll be coming back. But sure, you've never heard of it. But they've only got 6 followers as well. So, but he had asked questions relating to Ian and the hurricane and the recovery, and then his second question was about the dune walkover, and it seemed so off the mark and out of. It reminded me of the old joke of after Abraham Lincoln got assassinated, the first newspaper reporter said to Mrs. Lincoln, "How'd you like the play?" It just didn't go.
Right.
So I was just trying to downplay it. I'm not saying it's not still an important issue, but in the grand scheme of things, it's much lower than what it was. Have not changed my position, by the way. I still want to see the area again, and I want to hear what the LPA says, but nobody's ever changed my mind on the 2 points I've always made. The state approved it. The town wanted to settle if they'd open it up to the whole town.
Right.
Nobody's ever changed my mind on those. So
if you are elected to the town council and they introduce the new council, like you're all off to the side, and the town council, wherever it is, maybe it's a tent or something, and it's empty, and they're getting ready to introduce the new town council, what would your walk-up music be?
My walk-up music?
Walk-up music, yeah.
Walk Like a Man. I don't know. Frankie Valli of the Four Seasons. I haven't thought of that.
At least he had it.
He did. He picked it up like that.
Oh, that's a radio guy.
We were talking about it last night. What would Dan's walk-up music be?
The leader of the band.
Yeah.
Dan Fogelberg.
Mine would be Kung Fu Fighting.
Because everybody was doing it.
No, because that was the first song we played at our wedding.
No.
Oh, my
Yeah, it
God.
was.
No, it was.
We started with Celine Dion songs
That's
that
so
I
dumb.
chose.
That's so
and then
dumb.
he had somebody mix in Kung Fu Fighting after the first couple of minutes.
Because you got to have
and
fun.
I will never forgive you for that. You ruined the first dance
Who sings
we
Kung
had.
Fu Fighting?
It was Carl Douglas.
Nice. Look at you. Give me a fist bump for that.
I was just going to ask you that.
You didn't
if
know
you know
that. You didn't. And we played it at our wedding.
So what was our wedding song?
Celine Dion.
Yeah, what
And
was
what
the
was the
song?
song?
All right.
Love Lasts Forever. I think I don't know.
It better.
We there wasn't no group decision about picking that song, by the way. You and your girls must have got together and figured, let's do some love
with
song.
the 4 weeks I had to plan.
What else you want to talk about, John?
Just how much I care about this community. My wife and I chose to live here. I know I've kind of been criticized because I've only had 20 minutes here. I don't think my year and a half of residency is any less than anybody else's. We chose this place. We never thought we'd be able to live on a beach in a warm weather climate. We love it. Chris and I have already donated personally over $1,500 to the area businesses, and we've given you some money as well for your efforts. I'm going to take my remaining campaign funds, which are almost $5,000, to make that a donation as well. And I mentioned this in one of the earlier formats. I'm not going to take a salary. I'll take the salary for the first year, but I'm going to donate that back. So that's almost $17,000.
Right.
That shows my commitment to this community. And,
No, I don't think there's any doubt.
And you were saying that from the beginning.
Well, I was going to do half, but like you two, I've amped it up.
Well, there you go.
Since Ian, I've had to up my game as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that you're committed to the community. There's no doubt about it. It's just a question of, to me, it's going to come down to a question of whether people think the leadership from the storm to today was strong or not strong. Yeah. And that's what they should vote on, because really you need to be a leader in those times, because that's when people need you the most. So we'll see what happens.
I'll talk about it again. Not sharing information and not communicating and not holding press conferences. It's freedom of the press, not freedom from the press. I mean, you still have to get in there and answer the questions, even if you don't like the person personally. It's a business. It's your job.
Yeah. I think that I've told people this 1,000 times. We didn't do anything special. We haven't done anything that anybody else couldn't have done. But the town created our show. Yeah. That's what happened. The town created this show from not saying anything, and people wanted. You could see from day one that people just wanted information. But enough about that. What other issues do you think? I mean, there's really no other issue.
Well,
there's nothing. That's the thing. It's like you talk about all the other crap, and it's really no other issue.
Well, and I've mentioned it before in my appearances. I worked for the telecommunications company in the 90s, and I worked as a employee involvement quality change agent. And so I understand processes, I understand people, and I'm all about removing roadblocks and facilitating people's success, whether it's a business, whether it's a resident or a taxpayer in some sort. Those folks will always be first and foremost in my mind as well.
What do you think the percentage should be above the 50% FEMA rule?
I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think if we see Lee County and Fort Myers are now adding 30% instead of 20%. And I think if we don't get what we need from FEMA is a government agency that works for us. Let's go to Byron Donalds. Let's go to Marco Rubio. Let's go to Rick Scott and say, hey, things need to change. I'll tell you what, I'm really flabbergasted by FEMA anyway, because an owner in our complex got a letter from them addressed to them on Fort Myers Beach, and they were told they did not qualify because they were not in a devastated area. Excuse me, you had the President of the United States here. So it's just very confusing and typical government BS.
Wow, that's crazy. This is as devastated as I've seen down here. So let's say we know Fort Myers is at 30. It seems like the city of Fort Myers is bending over backwards to try and help people rebuild. Although, again, I haven't driven everywhere, but it doesn't seem like there's as much damage as you see here or you see in Sanibel. So what if the city of Fort Myers is 30% and then Lee County decides to go to 30%? Should Fort Myers Beach go to 30%?
If it doesn't harm us with the government, most definitely. And that's why I'm talking about.
What if it does?
Then that's where we get involved with our congressional delegation and say, hey, we need help and we need relief here from a government institution that doesn't want to bend. I understand that you don't want to rebuild exactly the way it was because of the devastation and taxpayers having to put out money. I watched that for years when I was in the Midwest, but we only faced tornadoes there or derechos too. But there are people here that I think have a good idea and want to be the unique Fort Myers Beach it was. Yes, there'll be places where we have to change, but let's help those people that want to build it back the way they're used to.
How do you want to see Times Square rebuilt?
Oh, most definitely.
How?
That's it.
How?
I'm
14
not sure.
feet high?
No. Oh, hell no.
Ground level?
Yeah, again, if we can get away with it, yes.
Never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. But Times Square is key to the economic development of this town. Yeah. It's paramount. This has to be done.
Why not just make it a parking garage?
Dumb question. Park for what?
Dumb
the
question.
beach?
Yeah.
Where are you going to do?
People love the beach.
I'm not putting that down, but we need
restaurants. You need. I mean, that was, to me, so unique about Fort Myers Beach is that you're so close. I mean, in this case, not
too
so
close.
good, but I mean, you're close to the water, so people can go. You know, I've been at the beaches up along the coast where you better pack a lunch to get from the beach.
And I think I read where I want to say Mexico City, but I'm not, or up in the Panhandle, not Mexico City, but
Mexico Beach.
That it still doesn't have restaurants brought back after all these years.
Yeah.
What do they have there?
I don't know how many businesses they have there right now. I think you have to probably go to an adjoining community. Or
I see. No, if they build higher, that's still going to be cool. People love to people watch. I think that's good. That's going to be great.
And have
I think
a cool
it's going to be
drink
good.
or something to eat into it as well.
That's the thing with Margaritas. They were just getting ready to open up the top level, and it looked so cool, so people could watch. Like a Nashville, I've always brought this up on the show, like a Nashville thing. Those people, when the weather is nice in Nashville, they're always in the top levels. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been so cool it could be even.
Well, and you'll get a view of the
view of the water.
Yeah.
And I said this to every once in a while, Jason and I would go up to the top of Margaritas and we'd look over and there'd be that freaking dumpster that was sitting right there. Right. They tried to decorate the dumpster with some art, but it was still a freaking dumpster. And, now maybe they could recreate it the way it would be, you still want that feel of, okay, I'm at Pete's Time Out, I'm at Margaritas, I'm at whatever. But then you get this view of the beach, or you get this view of the people walking down, and the street performers, the same street performers would be great. But what do I know? I'm just the dinky podcaster,
we're
John.
all sitting here wondering, what do you know?
I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot.
But you are able to fill up so much time by talking.
And I know I'm not allowed to use the bathrooms over here because I don't have a red wristband, and it's only for the red wristband people.
It's
like, show me your papers. You need to have your papers.
That was one of the interesting things. It was easier yesterday when I went to the town trailer compound, but the week before I had to file more Canada papers as well. And I got there and some security guard asked where my badge was. I go, badge? I don't need no stinking badge.
No, it's just.
And I'm here to file paperwork.
You look like a looter. That's what it is. I mean, it's just so stupid sometimes.
So I didn't have a badge, so I had to have an escort to go to a trailer to just file some papers. And yet they're behind a big fence at town hall compound, and everybody's allowed to walk around out here and do whatever they want. So it was crazy. The juxtaposition of the two just boggled my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here and run out of power?
If you've already voted for me, thank you very much. If
some people that got on there said they did.
So if you have not, you have today, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, and I'd appreciate your support and vote, and I'll be there for you if you're there for me.
And if you're gonna,
thanks very much to both of you as well. Appreciate it.
And if you're gonna vote for the incumbent, vote on Wednesday. I'm just kidding.
You need to do.
All right, John. Thanks so much. Good luck. Thank you for everything, and we'll see you Tuesday. Where is your rally going to be?
I don't know. I was going to have one pre-Ian, but
you should have one.
Post-Ian, everybody's scattered.
Yeah,
so,
I know Karen's going to be at Buckets, and they're donating 10% of their proceeds to something, and you should have one somewhere.
Well, I'm taking the money I would have spent on that and donating it to charity.
All right.
So.
Such a softie.
And then part of me doesn't want to be a jinx, I don't want to.
Right, you just want to sit at home and watch it.
And,
like, remember that picture of George George Bush, back in 2000 when he was just sitting in the hotel watching the. Never mind. I don't know where that memory came from.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and putting up with him yet again.
And we'll get you the care you need.
I don't think you got that kind of psychotherapy in your wallet.
Nobody's got that kind of money.
And I'm glad you didn't wear a pink shirt today. So thank you very much. All right, John King, everybody. Vote for John on Tuesday.
Thank you.
New leadership in the town. And we appreciate John and his wife. I appreciate his wife, Chris even more than John. Do you want to sit next to me for the
No,
for the
I'm going to
balance of the
stay
show?
here because of the sun.
Oh.
You've got shade over there.
Yeah,
so.
you want to sit in the shade? Then I can't see all the commenters. Well, we had a big audience today, dear. I think people love the view of the beach. They love everything that goes on here on the beach. We did a little video this morning.
We need to try and do it from the sand on the beach.
We can do it on the sand.
All right.
Yeah,
I think
that'd be a
people
great
would like
idea.
that too.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh, by the way, I'm glad I remembered to say Buckets because tonight at Buckets, they're raising money for the folks at Hoosiers.
Oh, nice.
We need to go stop by that tonight and see Mark and Jackie and their whole crew.
I would like that.
That's tonight at Buckets. And also, if you're going to go out today, you can go to Buttonwood at 11 o'clock. Rood Shrimp is doing a pop-up with with tacos.
Oh.
So we're going to stop by there on the way home.
Okay.
And what was the other thing? Plywood. If you need plywood, you can go to Buttonwood. They have stacks and stacks, courtesy of the folks at Roar Offshore. You get 5 per household. And that shit's going fast, people. So if you need some plywood, go down to Buttonwood, 820 Buttonwood. There's no traffic. You know, the early days of those traffic nightmares are completely over. So go down to Buttonwood. Say hello to the volunteers down there. We dropped off some Omaha steaks today for the volunteers. And you're packing up already. She's packing up already. So she wants out of this location, and she wants to go home. And we're going to spend some time at the house
I'm
today.
going to go
Relax.
try and visit a friend of ours down here. So
Go right ahead. I
can
can handle the outro myself. Just to let everybody know, the Amazon wish list, as far as our house goes, will end tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. The biggest need on the beach right now, generators. If you are able to donate one generator, each and every one of you, there's 300 people on this show right now. If each and every one of you were able to donate a generator, you can send it to our house. We'll bring it down because people need generators and they need pressure washers. Those are the 2 biggest things right now. Generators, no more cans of green beans or baked beans or diapers or clothes. Nothing like that. It's all about the generators, the power washers, and the power tools. So if you can donate those, that would be great. We appreciate you guys so much and everything you've done for the show. You can always buy us a coffee. And the way you can do that is by going to beachtalkradionews.com. You'll see the cups of coffee everywhere. $5 for a cup of coffee. I know it's like a Starbucks cup of coffee. It's not like a 7-Eleven cup of coffee, which is cheaper. But, coffee's going up just like everything else in Joe Biden's world. Oh, sorry. I mean to get political on you. Don't forget to vote. Tuesday is a big day on Fort Myers Beach. And we'll be back. Let's see. No show tomorrow. It's Sunday. We'll be back Monday night with Scott Allen. We're going to talk about construction. And Tom Torgerson from TPI is going to give us a Margaritaville update. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.